Practical Team Sport BUR 17006945. Football Rules and Regulations. Timings. The duration of a football match is 90 whole minutes. This time, however, can be altered depending on the circumstances of the match. When the duration of the match hits 45 minutes, the referee will call half-time. Half-time lasts for 15 minutes, where the two teams leave the pitch and head down to their changing rooms. If during the match there is a delay due to an injury or other factor, the referee will continue the clock. The time in which the game isn't being played will be added on to the time of that half. For example, a delay of 5 minutes will then turn that half into 50 minutes instead of the normal 45. Goals. A football game is counted through goals. A goal is scored when the whole ball moves over the goal line. Goals are counted as one, therefore if a team scores one goal, then they will be 1-0 up, as the other team hasn't scored any, so remains on 0. No matter the circumstances the goal is scored in, it will always count as 1. However, in certain competitions where teams play both home and away games, away goals are worth more than home goals, and therefore can decide who wins the game if the score comes to a draw, as the team with the more away goals will win. Officials. In a game of football there are 3 main officials. However, in elite matches such as the Premier League, this can go up to a 4th official, who is off the pitch. The referee is the main official and makes all final decisions. They remain on pitch at all times and follow the ball with close consideration and take into consideration the player's positioning. The referee has a whistle to signal his decisions or to stop the play of the game. They also have 2 coloured cards, one red and one yellow. They will use the yellow card to warn a player and a red card to signal the player to leave the pitch and go straight down the tunnel away from the match. If a player is awarded 2 yellows, then they will be awarded a red card. There are 2 off-pitch officials in diagonal positions called linesmen. They cover the line of the pitch from the halfway line on each side. Their job is to follow the ball's movement up and down the line. They can award fouls by waving their fluorescent flag. They can also award throw-ins by directing their flag in the direction in which the team being awarded the throw-in is shooting. They can also signal free kicks by waving their flag up. Their main job is to signal offside positions. Each linesman will have their own side, so will only flag offsides to one of the teams. The 2 linesmen will be the referee's assistants, and the ref can't physically see everything that takes place on the pitch. Therefore, he may use his second officials to make certain decisions. All officials in elite standard football wear earpieces so that they can keep in contact throughout the game. This makes it easier to make decisions, and the referee will also be in contact with their 4th official. A squad size in a football match will consist of 11 players, including the goalkeeper on each team. An elite standard manager, for example Klopp, can take a squad of 18, and therefore there will be 7 non-playing squad members on the bench. In a match, the managers are allowed to make 3 substitutes. However, if the match follows through to extra time, the manager will be awarded 1 more substitute. If a squad member is sent off, then the manager will not be able to substitute this player. Therefore, the team will have to play with 10 players instead of 11, giving them a lower advantage. The squad positioning will be decided by the manager. For example, there are a range of formations such as 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 2 forward players. Positioning in the team can vary throughout the match, and however, most teams consist of a goalkeeper, defenders, midfield players, and strikers. The defenders will remain in front of the goalkeeper, normally in a line. They are then followed by a line of midfielders that remain in the middle of the pitch. A midfield formation can contain wingers who remain along the sides of the pitch, and then the top player is the striker. When the ball leaves the pitch, there are different outcomes, depending on where the ball becomes out of play. For example, if the defending team kicks the ball out of play on their back line, then the attacking team will be awarded a corner. However, if the attacking team is the last to touch the ball when it goes out of play on the back line, then the other team will be awarded a goal kick. Anything that goes out of play on the sidelines will be awarded with a throw-in to the team who didn't kick the ball out of play. Fouls. There are a range of different fouls that can all have different outcomes. Handballs will mean that the other team gets a free kick in the position of where the handball was made. If the handball was deliberate and stopped a goal-scoring opportunity, then the player may be awarded a yellow card or a red card. A deliberate handball in the 18-yard box will mean the other team will be awarded a penalty, and the player who committed the handball will most likely be sent off the pitch. A small point of unnatural contact will be counted as a foul on any area of the pitch, from the 18-yard box, apart from the 18-yard box. However, if the foul was of more contact, then the referee will award a yellow card. If this is then committed again by the same player, they will be awarded a second yellow, which then turns into a red card. If a player goes into a tackle with a deliberate thought of injuring the player, then this may also be awarded with a straight red card. There is a rule in which if a player goes into a tackle with their studs up, then they will be sent off with a straight red, as it can be very dangerous. A goalkeeper has separate rules to an outfield player alongside their own. So if they pick up the ball outside of the 18-yard box, then the other team will be awarded a free kick just like any other player. The goalkeeper can also pass the ball to their own players. However, if they then receive the ball back via the foot of their own teammate and pick the ball up in the box, the other team will be awarded an indirect free kick in the penalty box. This means that the ball has to be touched by someone else besides the free kicker before the team can shoot. Other fouls consist of overly body contact, so shoving in the back or hacking at the feet instead of going for the ball. They will be awarded with free kicks on the position of the foul. The regulations, so the playing area of a football field is a total of 90 to 120 metres in length and 45 to 90 metres in width. All players on either team can enter the area of any pitch. However, on a centre kick-off, the two separate teams have to be on their side of the pitch until the ball has been played. The specific zones on a football pitch are the two 18-yard boxes, the centre circle, and the two 6-yard boxes. During a goal kick, the goalkeeper's teammates are allowed in the 18-yard box. Once the ball has been played, the attacking team can then enter the box as well. During a penalty, no player is allowed inside the penalty area apart from the penalty taker and the goalkeeper. Other players must stand outside the 18-yard box and the surrounding circle. Once the ball has been kicked, the other team players may enter the box, but only once the penalty taker has made contact with the ball. The equipment involved in football match is very minimal. The match consists of one football, and that is all. The players play with their feet and no other equipment or object. Any other object or equipment is against the rules of the game. Goalkeeper's equipment will be goalkeeper gloves. In some circumstances, a hat may be allowed. Any jewellery, watches, glasses are all against the regulations, therefore have to be removed. There are 4 corner flags marked on each corner of the pitch, and then 2 goals at either end of the pitch in direct line of one another. These rules apply in matches at all different times. For example, if the goalkeeper comes out of their goal to make a sliding save and doesn't make any contact with the ball, but makes contact with the attacking player, then the referee in most cases will award a penalty. This happens because the goalkeeper stopped a goal-scoring opportunity by taking out the player instead of trying to block the ball. In some cases, the ref may book the goalkeeper red or yellow. A penalty is applied so that the team whose goal-scoring opportunity was stopped can have a fair advantage of gaining a goal. A handball is against the rules of football. For example, if an outfield player makes contact with the ball, whether it's deliberate or an accident, the ref will award a free kick to the other team. For example, the arm will have to be in an unnatural position or up in the air for most handballs to be given. For example, a defender lifting up their arm to block a cross coming into the box on the edge of the 18-yard box, depending if the ball was going into the goal or a cross, will depend on the card given to the defender. An indirect free kick is awarded when there is an error made by the opposing team. For example, a goalkeeper receiving a pass back from their teammate and picking up the ball in their box. This is in the rulebook as a foul and is rewarded with an indirect free kick. It is awarded because the goalkeeper cannot make contact with the ball with their hands if it is passed back by their teammate's feet. The indirect kick is awarded instead of a penalty, as there is normally no goal scoring opportunity, so it would be unfair to give the other team a clear shot. Basketball rules and regulations. Timings. At the elite level of an NBA basketball game, the match will consist of 4 12-minute quarters. The clock continues to run if the ball is in play. However, the clock will stop if there is a foul called, the ball goes out of bounds, and if there's a free throw being shot, or if there are timeouts. The clock is then restarted once the ball is inbound and someone has touched it. The clock stops after a made shot during the last 2 minutes of the match and overtime. Overtime is only played if the score is still a draw after regulation time. Overtime usually lasts around 5 minutes in most leagues. Managers of the teams are allowed to call 2 timeouts in the first half and 3 timeouts in the second half. This gives the managers time to talk tactics with their teams. The timeouts only last 60 seconds, and in overtime only 1 timeout is allowed to be called by each team. Halftime consists of one 15-minute rest. There are also 2 minutes between the first and second period and the fourth and fifth period. A basketball game has certain time lengths in which certain things has to be done. For example, there is a 24-second rule in which the team in possession has to shoot a hoop before 24 seconds, otherwise the ball is awarded to the opposite team. The 8-second rule means that if the basketball is in the half of the team in possession, has to be passed forwards past the line before 8 seconds. Failure to do this will mean the other team gains possession. The 5-second rule refers to the closely guarded player having to make a pass within 5 seconds or make an advancement forwards towards the hoop. Failure to do so, this will mean the other team gets possession. A player can only remain under the attacking hoop for 3 seconds at one time. If they don't move out of the circle under the hoop within these 3 seconds, a foul will be called. Scoring. The number of points earned by shooting a hoop all depends on the position of the player. A goal scored outside the 3-point line will be awarded with 3 points. This is the highest amount of points that can be scored by any shot. Any shot scored inside the 3-point line results in the team being awarded 2 points, and a free throw is awarded with 1 point. A free throw is an unchallenged shot that is awarded to a team after a foul against them. It is taken from the free throw line. There are a range of different scoring skills. There's a jump shot, layup, bank shot, dunk shot, and then a free throw after a foul. To score a point or points, the ball must fall directly through the hoop and come out under the netting in order to count. There must be no fouls or time breaking on the lead up to the shot. Officials. There is an officiating staff and then the referee. The ref is in charge of all final decisions, tossing up the ball at the beginning of each startup, and he can stop the clock at a turn of a foul, and his job is to check the equipment before the game and approving the final score at the end of the game. Whereas the officiating staff are in control of the game aspects. The minimum amount of officiating staff is 5. A referee, an umpire, a scorer, a timer, and a shot clock operator. In some cases, 8 officials are used in a lineup, compromising a referee. 2 umpires, a shot clock operator, 2 scorers, and 2 timers. The referee can forfeit the game at any point if they think it's necessary, and also make decisions that may not even be within the rulebook. All officials are responsible for the conduct of the game. No official can question another decision. Due to the speed of the play, decisions will be made by the official in that space at that moment in time. Their perspective and position will be the reason they call that specific decision. The officials are usually dressed in white and black striped tops, and pitch officials have whistles. They can signal their decisions through certain hand gestures. The officials' duties include signaling fouls, administrating and enforcing changes to possessions or free throws. When a foul occurs, the official is required to sign the timer to stop the clock. Designate the offender to the scorer and then use fingers to indicate the number of free throws. When a team is entitled to a free throw, an official must signal what caused the ball to become out of play, indicate the free throw in spot, and address the team entitled to the throw-in. Squad size. In an international basketball game, there are 5 team members allowed on the pitch at one time from each team. They are then allowed 7 squad members as substitutes on the bench, resulting in a squad of 12. All players, no matter their position, can move around the pitch, and there are a range of positions. These include power forward, small forward, shooting guard, and point guard. All these players have no restrictions, but usually like to stay in their area of the pitch. When the ball goes out of play, the team who touched it last will lose possession and a throw-in will be given to the opposite team. The ball is called dead if it leaves any boundaries on the basketball pitch. Once it leaves the pitch, a team will be awarded a throw-in from the position in which it left the pitch. If the ball leaves the pitch from the back line, the team whose throw-in it is will then take the throw-in from the back line. The player has to be outbound when taking the throw-in and has to make a pass to an inbound player within 5 seconds.